Good evening, everyone. I'm Marcelo Borges, the Chair of Latin American, Latino, and Caribbean Studies here at Dickinson. So it's my pleasure to welcome you to this lecture tonight, which marks the beginning of a great weekend we had ahead of us. Great weekend for everyone here, for the college, and for those interested in Latin American studies in particular. It has been an exciting couple of weeks already, starting with the building of the altar in the library that some of you have already visited. And then with the opening of the exhibit on Jose Guadalupe Posada and the Mexican penny press last Friday at the library. The conference that begins with this evening's lecture, like the exhibit and other related activities, has been long in the making and is a result of the efforts and collaboration of many people. I would like to take this opportunity to thank some of those who helped make it possible. My colleagues in the Laos Studies program, especially Carolina Castellanos Gonella and Hector Reyes Saga, who have been partners in this conspiracy for a while since its beginning. Also my colleagues from the Spanish and the Portuguese department, especially Asunción Arnedo, who was instrumental in our efforts to reach the wider community, including bringing to Carlisle migrant workers from the nearby fruit orchards. Some of whom were here last week for the opening of the exhibit. Phil Ehrenfeit, Heather Flaherty, and Amy Vance at the Trout Gallery, who were enthusiastic believers in this project and who embraced the project from the beginning. And also, I would like to thank the invaluable role played by Madeline Brown, by Liz Sisi, both academic department coordinators, in making sure that all the planning for this weekend ran smoothly. As also did Winnie Lee, a Latin American student assistant, and Olivia Loudon, who is a student assistant for Spanish and Portuguese. From the very start, this project was also welcomed by our friends and colleagues in Franklin and Marshall and Gettysburg College. It was in our early meetings over a year ago now that the idea of the conference took shape. And I also would like to thank their commitment and their enthusiasm to help it come to fruition. It has become a multi-institutional effort thanks to the collaboration of Rudy Rangelova, of Laura Shelton, and of Alvaro Comfort from Franklin and Marshall and Gettysburg College. And it's our hope that this is only the first of many collaborations and many opportunities for students and for faculty interested in Latin America, in Latino studies, and in the Caribbean, in our three institutions to come together to share interest and to share experiences. This particular project would not have been possible with the generous funding of the Central Pennsylvania Consortium, so I want also to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude for their support. Finally, I would like to recognize the participation of Vincent Stephens, the director of the Popple Shaw Center, and also of the students from the three colleges who have contributed to the altar, and also those who will be participating in tomorrow's conference as moderators and chairs. This is an opportunity for those students who are interested in the region and working on related topics to enrich their understanding, to connect disciplinary approaches, and to foster collaborations with peers, with faculty from all three colleges. So they are central to this initiative, and I want to thank them for that. The opportunity for this international gathering has been possible because the initial call for participation was met with interest from scholars from different places who are interested in social political humor and satire from diverse disciplinary backgrounds, coming from US institutions as well as from institutions in Latin America. So we have colleagues here from different countries, including Mexico and Peru as well. So I would like to extend, and Costa Rica, I would like to extend our warm welcome to our guests. Among our distinguished guests, we're pleased to welcome William Beezley, who will deliver the keynote lecture this evening. William Beezley is professor of history at the University of Arizona, where he teaches Latin American history. He also has served as, in many other positions as director of the Graduate Field School in Modern Mexican History in Oaxaca, Mexico, as a distinguished visiting professor in el Colegio de Mexico, as the inaugural Richard E. Greenleaf Endowed Chair in Latin American Studies at Tulane University, and as the inaugural Neville G. Penrose Endowed Chair in Latin American History at Texas Christian University, among many other prestigious positions. Professor Beezley has a long trajectory of working on the social and cultural history of Latin America, which had resulted in numerous publications, including Judas at the Jockey Club and other episodes of Porfirian Mexico from 1987, Rituals of Rule, Rituals of Resistance, Public Celebrations, and Popular Culture in Mexico, co-author with Martin and French from 1994. Latin American Popular Culture and Introduction with Curcio-Nagy from 2000, and there's a reprint of that recently. Viva Mexico, Viva la Independencia, Celebrations of September 16 with David Laurie. Mexico, the New Oxford World History Series, and also a companion to Mexican History and Culture from 2011, among many other publications. So you can see the connections and why we were excited when Professor Beezley accepted the invitation to be our keynote tonight. Tonight, Professor Beezley will talk about laughter and hope, humor and everyday life in Mexico. So please join me in welcoming Professor Beezley.
I hope everyone can hear me, and if you can't, please make a gesture or go to sleep. And if you go to sleep, I won't disturb you. But I hope that you will be able to hear what I have to say. Now, no one actually told me what I was supposed to do or how long I was supposed to do it. They sort of left me to my own devices, which may not be a good idea. And so my first thought was, I've been a great admirer of Fidel Castro since 1959, so maybe I will treat all of you to a Castro lecture. And so that means we're going to be here for about the next 5.5 hours while I talk about a variety of things until I get tired and need a cigar, and then I'll... Well, I don't smoke cigars, and I've decided that really we don't need to hear a lecture by Castro or even a Castro imitator like me. So that plan is off. I'm planning for us to be here for about 45 minutes, and I hope then we'll have 15 or 20 minutes of questions or comments from you, and I look forward to those. Let me begin first by saying what a delightful opportunity this is for me to visit central Pennsylvania for the first time. I've never been here, so this is like, wow, I'm really happy to be here. And I need to thank, for this invitation, I need to express my gratitude to Laura Shelton, Professor of Latin American History, really Mexico. Mexico's enough, at Dickinson College. And I want to acknowledge as well Marcelo Borges, Professor of Latin American History and Director of Studies Programs here at Dickinson College. And finally, I want to thank all of you for coming to see what I think is something remarkable about Mexicans. I tell my undergraduate students and public audiences and other people who will listen to me talk that Mexicans have the best sense of humor in the world. Mexicans have the best sense of humor in the world. Now I know there are some people out there who will want to argue this with me. Marcelo will probably suggest that Argentines are funny. I'm here to tell all of you, Argentines may walk funny. This is a reference to the English comedy group, right? The theater of public walking, of funny walking. But, come on, Argentines are not that funny. Well, unless you happen to read Aunt Julia and the Scriptwriter. And if you read that novel, you'll find out that Argentines can be pretty funny, or you can make fun of them. And so, but Mexicans just are hilarious. There's something funny going on in Mexican life. And at some point in my career, I woke up one morning and thought, I'm tired of writing about dreary politics, boring economics, sad things that have happened to people, when in reality, Mexicans are funny. And I want to write about Mexicans having fun and how they're doing things. And I hope by the end of this evening, you will at least concede that Mexicans are indeed people with a great sense of humor, and you can always find something going on. Okay. Mexicans have had a number of political cartoonists, and these have served to create a satire of Mexican life in a whole series of different ways. Let's see. Let's see again. Let's try something else. Maybe. Oh, okay. One of Mexico's most famous political cartoonists is Abel Casado. And he worked in the 50s and then wrote into the 60s. And if you're interested in Posada, there are a couple of books done in English, so you can, and printed in the US if you're an undergraduate who needs to, that source. And he also has an autobiography about his life as a cartoonist that is extremely fun to read. Well, this is 1962. Can you all see it back there, or do I need to read what it says?
Can you read it?
Okay. Is this a reading test? I'll try. Okay. The most powerful country in the world. This is 1962. Last night I dreamt that Mexico, was the most powerful country in the world, and the US the weak one. And you can see there's Posada dreaming. America, Mexico for Mexicans. Frame number 2. The automobiles sold the world over had names like Gonzalez, Lopez, Rodriguez. And there on that super, much more fancy car than any Cadillac, that's a Gonzalez. And then the third one says, I dreamed we organized committees for fair play and elbow room for North Americans because some Mexican restaurants refused to serve them. And there's a taco guy refusing to serve a gringo. 4, that we went in for the good neighbor policy and hired North American field hands to harvest our corn and beans, bean crops. And then there, if you can't see it says blonde wetback. 5, that we handed out pesos by the bucket to help the U.S. and other underdeveloped people, charging only a modest interest. And 6, and I would love to go on dreaming, but I woke up. This is, I think, a hilarious joke in so many ways. And maybe one of the reasons it's so hilarious today, some 50 years later, is that